Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hmm. Now, welcome to Edwina B. Mhm. Free to Hope, from Recovery Emerge Enlightened, from Recovery Emerge Empowered, to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Now, as you can see, and maybe you don't see, that this is not the real me. And so I'm glad you think that, because it's all about removing the mask. And we need to know how we, as human beings, particularly women, wear so many masks. Isn't it ironic that men don't wear the masks that we do? And have you ever wondered why? Hmm. And have you ever wondered who made all the makeup, who made the high heels, who made the tight dresses? Men, right? And so when we do an inventory of ourselves, a thorough and fearless inventory of ourselves, we will learn a lot about who we are trying to be. But we have to ask ourselves, who am I really? And when I think about my journey to transparency and authenticity, I can only share my experience, my strength, my hope, and my wisdom and my perspective. And I challenge each and every one of you, particularly women, to do that inventory of who am I really trying to please, attract, project, imitate, who. And once we found out who, we need to ask ourselves why. And so that's what I needed to do. And most of the time when I come on, I am praising my God. I am thanking Him for waking me up this morning. Yes. But before I do that, I want to do it in my natural state. Because when we wear a mask, we have this certain aura, we have this projection. There's something sexy about the hair around the eyes, right? And when we put on our glasses, we are perceived to be studious. And so now, if I had nails on, I would probably be doing, stuff like this, and articulating, this false look. Me, I'm talking about me. And so, with the hair, with the lipstick, with the makeup, with the body language, I'm projecting somebody I am not. But guess what? We can be ourselves and still be as sexy, hmm as smart, as intelligent, hmm without all of this. Why? Because this is not how we wake up in the morning, and this is definitely not how we go to bed. But let me keep the focus on me, okay? And so, one of the reasons why I need you to join me tomorrow and next Thursday, no, yeah, tomorrow and next Thursday, April the 20th and the 27th. So, right now, I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of what we're going to be talking about from my perspective. And so, one of the main reasons why I come on the way I do is to demonstrate how I had to remove the mask. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a matter of choice. It came out of desperation. Yes, desperation. And I'm going to tell you that my journey to becoming and accepting the real me was a process. But through that inventory, I found out by going all the way back to my family history, my environment, my community, and the people that I was around. And the very first person that I wanted to please was a man, my daddy. Mm-hmm. And so when you join me tomorrow, hopefully and prayerfully, if not tomorrow, then next week, but I recommend that you do both because you may hear something the first time, but you'll be ready to listen the second time. But I just want to share just real quickly. At the age of 19, I worked for a recording studio. Famous men, famous women, you know. And the millionaire owner said to me one day, "Why are you wearing that stuff? Why you don't need that?" I didn't feel that way when I put it on that morning, but he made me feel a certain way after he said to me, and this is a millionaire, "You don't need that." And it wasn't about the money of him being a millionaire. It was about him seeing someone that was false. And he spoke up. And I'm going to say because he believed that women should be themselves without trying to be somebody else. I'm going to stop there because it was the same person that told me when I tried to share something with him and I had a wig on. And he said, "Why you have that wig on?" "Oh, it's not a wig. Oh, this is my natural hair." Knowing all the time it was a wig. So why did I find the need to lie when somebody clearly saw right through me? So I attribute a lot of credit to this man who helped me to begin to look at my attempt to wear different masks in order to get attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And so when you join me on my Free to Hope platform via virtual presentation on the journey to transparency and authenticity, giving you an orientation of how to build that foundation. And so if I said to you, well, let me see what you're working with. And so as I began my journey into a 12-step spiritual program, now incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family, and most recently, the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja. And I am realizing every day, my awareness is increasing every day. My spiritual wisdom is heightened every day, which is why I can be authentic and transparent to the best of my ability. And so when I sit before you like this, it's only to demonstrate an analogy. This is not who I am. Why am I so reluctant and maybe fearful of showing you who I really am? And that's why that inventory is helpful. And the book by the Ruiz family talks about the domestication process that happens to all human beings. But there come a time when we all have our knee bowing experience where we will confess with our tongue that He is. But until that time, we are on image time. Not me, because underneath a parked car on February the 22nd of 1990, 3 o'clock in the morning, I did not have any mask on. No, but I'll get into that a little later. But that helped me to realize that the mask must continue to be taken off. My humanness often wants to put it back on. But as I grow spiritually, I want you all to see and know the real me as I am doing the same for myself. So listen, this mask, or maybe you prefer this mask, Tina Turner. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know. Or maybe you prefer a more mature look. Mm-hmm. And I hope y'all are honing in on the words I'm using, okay? Now, okay, so maybe you prefer, a more mature look, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see. I don't know. Let's push it all down, right? Right. Maybe. Mm-hmm. And so that's my point. I talked to my niece this morning, my niece / sister, right? And when she saw the first wig, she was like, "What?" She said, "What? You look like the young lady who had a wig on trying to portray an old lady. I forgot the name, right?" And she said, "Well, that looks better than what you had on the other day." That's my point. That's my point. I want to be me all the time, every day, everywhere. Why? Because this is not who I am. This is not who God made me. I am trying to portray an image that's false. I'm talking about me. You heard the word I, right? And so when I can do this, right? When I can, where you at? Okay, hold on, y'all. When I can take off the mask, yes. When I can take off the mask, yes. Yes. The real me becomes clear. The real me becomes obvious. And this is my natural hair. So I do this in the morning. I do that in the morning, right? And I do this in the morning, right? Yeah, you see? You see? Yeah, see? I go like this sometimes, right? And then I'll take it up. This is my crown. This is my heritage. This is my culture. This is who I am. And you really want to see who I am in the morning and at night? Okay. Am I beautiful? Why am I asking you? I need to know that I am beautiful without the mask. Now I can say, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, soldiers of the Lord. On that early morning, February the 22nd of 1990, after getting high and doing all kinds of sexual favors for my stepson, he transformed into a violent person. I transformed into a person who feared for her life. After he punched me the first time, I jumped out the car, started running, Got a flashback from my past when I played hide and seek underneath the bed. As I continued to run, I saw a slew of cars. If I just get underneath those parked cars, at least one of them, he can't hurt me. I only weighed 90 pounds. My face was all sunken in, dark circles around my eyes. I only had a few teeth in my mouth. This is after a 14-year addiction coupled with mental illness known as co-occurring disorders. Okay? And so only weighing 90 pounds, getting underneath a parked car, my face was literally on the ground. So then and there, I had no mask. The real me came up and out because all those masks and all those attempts to please everything and everybody, not wanting to acknowledge who I really am because I didn't know based on what I should be and should act and should domestication. The flashbacks continue. You 34 years old underneath a parked car. Class vice president, co-captain of the cheerleader team. Voted 1-2 most likely to succeed. Deemed the smartest of your parents' 6 kids. What's wrong with you, Edwina? What's wrong with you? I hope y'all are feeling me and not focus on this. Please don't focus on this. Feel my spirit underneath a parked car, getting high and doing all kinds of sexual favors for my own stepson. Do you feel me? Huh? The rapes, the beat-ups, the setups, being passed around like a bucket. And this was after having an abortion, which I considered murder, as a prostitute. I took life because I was fearful of what men, women, the world might say about me because of my reputation. So you see why the mask is not important. But that situation prompted something deep inside me to cry out these words. Whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. I'm going to put these back in just to articulate and pronunciate a little better. But I'm not afraid to be who I am. As a matter of fact, I love me today. I nurture me today. I respect me today. You know why? I learned that this is just the vessel. That's all it is. It's the spirit within the vessel that makes the difference. So when the adversaries use this vessel to do its thing, underneath that parked car was my knee-bowing experience for me to cry out, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. Okay? All right. Now, whew, still beautiful. And I don't want to give you everything that I'm going to talk about tomorrow and next Thursday, because here's the proof that I'm talking about. Underneath that parked car, 3:00 in the morning. Aspirations, right, of being a model, right? Phys ed teacher, actress. But guess what? God said you're going to be a model, all right? I met you, delivered you, and prepared you to be my model. And I'm so glad I was chosen. Okay? And so I'm only trying to plant a seed, just like a seed that was planted in me. If you want somebody to believe you, you have to learn, like I had to learn, to be transparent and authentic. Why? Because somebody did it for me. God used this young lady to share what she needed to share, how she shared it, how she felt about what she did. And I said, God, if you keep me sober long enough, I want to be able to share just like her. So my path of 33 plus years later, I am becoming more transparent, and authentic. I use this same approach when I'm on stage, on my TV talk show, on my virtual presentations. Why? Even in person. Because I don't want you to get hung up on the messenger. I really want you to concentrate on the spiritual message. Okay? So now it's time for us to get to our topic today. All right, so our topic today is from the Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflection, entitled Brothers and Our Own and Our Out and Brothers and Our Defects. Okay? I will be incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family and the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja. I don't represent any of them, but I'm definitely using all the wisdom that they have to share with me. It's available for you too, but I'm taking full advantage of any and all spiritual tools and instruments so that I can learn and apply them to become even more transparent and authentic. You know that onion, it's a lot of layers, but through this spiritual journey, they will be revealed, each and every layer, till I get to the core, so that my God can relayer me with the fruit of the Spirit. Okay? All right, so let's bring it up and open up your spiritual ears, open up your spiritual eyes, and let's dissect this baby. Our co-founder, Bill W., takes a quote from his book off of page 167 as Bill sees it. He states, "We recovered alcoholics are not so much brothers in virtue as we are brothers in our defects and in our common strivings to overcome them." The person in recovery shares the identification that one alcoholic has with another is mysterious, spiritual, almost incomprehensible, but it is there. I feel it. Today, I feel that I can help people and that they can help me. It is a new and exciting feeling for me to care for someone, to care what they are feeling, hoping for, praying for, to know their sadness, joy, horror, sorrow, grief, to want to share those feelings so that someone can have relief. I never knew how to do this or how to try. I never even cared. The fellowship of AA and God are teaching me how to care about others. And let me get to the exact nature, which is a result of step 5 after doing step 4. Mhm. And so when we think about character defects, many of us don't think we even have them, don't even know what they are. So let me give a quick synopsis of what character defects are. We are born and given by our Creator instincts to survive, to create, to security, for safety. Mhm. And so, because we are born into a sinful world, right, our instincts begin to far exceed their intended purpose, which in effect allows our character to become defective. We're greedy, we're lustful, right? We're arrogant, we're prideful, right? All those things that are needed for us to survive begin to far exceed their intended purpose, which is why they are called character defects. All human beings are ill to some extent. That's what our literature says. Okay. So when it says the title, right? Brothers and Our Defects, that means inclusive of everyone, everybody, all of God's creation in terms of being a human being. Human being. We are spiritual beings encased in this natural form here on this journey called life. As Donald Lawrence says, we are not natural beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings encased in walking this natural experience here on earth called life. So when we had that knee bowing experience, which we will sooner or later, and it helps us, challenges us, will force us, right, to confess with our tongue that he is. Don't care what you call him. It ain't you and it ain't me, but he is. Through humiliation, most of the time, will bring about humility to say, help me, help me, help me. So the physical mask is gone. And then we apply that same analogy for those internal, right, issues that we've been trying to conceal that needs to be revealed in order for us to heal, but heal spiritually while encased in this natural form here. Okay. All right. So let's dissect this, baby. I got a few minutes. All right. So then he says we recovered alcoholics are not so much brothers in virtue as we are brothers in our defects and in our common strivings to overcome them. See, for me, I always tell people that being a part of this 12-step spiritual program within a spiritual fellowship, we learn some very, very vital things, because utilizing the spiritual tools along with the 5 agreements and the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja, we begin to dissect some things. And we learn how to go back as far as we can to unlearn the things that we were taught and learned. And see where those attitudes, ideas, behaviors, belief systems was first formulated, and the need to be aware of them and the willingness to have them corrected. And that's only with new information that's spiritual in, right, in nature, right? That's spiritual. And so when we involve ourselves and embrace these 12 spiritual principles, 5 agreements, and transformational teachings, we begin to have spiritual awakening, spiritual experiences, spiritual transformation in order to achieve a psychic change in our thinking. Yes. So I say often, those of us are in recovery, there's 100% human beings. We are the 5%. And the rest of the 95% are people who are like us. But now we are different in a sense that we were chosen, right, to learn some spiritual information, spiritual tools to live a spiritual life here on earth. Our heaven is here. When we apply spiritual principles to all earthly matters, oh, we have heaven here on earth. And so we get to practice these 12 spiritual principles, right? And 5 agreements and transformational teachings first on ourselves. Then we get to practice them on you. All right. And so the person in recovery, right, he goes to say, the identification that one alcoholic has with another is mysterious, spiritual, almost incomprehensible, right? So we learned through the fellowship, through our co-founders who learned from the 2 previous movements, the Oxford Group and the Washingtonians, that religion, medical, can't touch us. That's not the remedy. But it was through Dr. Carl Jung and a conversation with one of his patients, Roland, who came back and shared with Dr. Bob and Bill W. What people like us need is divine intervention, a divine providence that will create a psychic change. And that's spiritual in nature, right? Okay. And so that's how we became the spiritual program, not related to religion or medical, because it didn't work. But the spirituality, worked by one alcoholic in recovery, staying sober, and the willingness to help another. Okay. So let's see what else he says. Let's go here. Right. He goes on to say, but it is there. I feel it. Today, I feel that I can help people and that they can help me. See, one of the things that we learn in recovery is too, is we may come from all different walks of life, right? And we do. And we have all different perspectives, and we do. But we have one thing in common, really two: the disease of alcoholism, because we found out there's nothing wrong with us, but there are plenty of things that happen to us. And so that's why we need to learn what we learned that put me underneath that parked car, the various masks that I had to put on to please this person, and that person, right? And so now we have the common denomination of alcoholism. And guess what? The common denomination of a 12-step spiritual program. So when one alcoholic helps another, that is the purpose of our 12-step spiritual program, right? Then it says here, it is a new and exciting feeling for me to care for someone, to care what they are feeling, hoping for, praying for, to know their sadness, joy, horror, sorrow, grief, to want to share those feelings so that someone can have relief. And that's what we do in Alcoholics Anonymous, in a 12-step program, whether it be for eating, gambling. They all use the same spiritual principles, but it is the one person helping another. That when we're in our meetings, we hear a variety of things. But if we apply all these spiritual principles that we are learning to all these earthly matters, we won't drink, and we will keep our joy, happiness, tranquility, peace by using that serenity prayer. All right. So in closing, let me get out of here because I got to go to my meeting. It says here, I never knew how to do this or how to try. I never even cared. The fellowship of AA and God are teaching me how to care about others. Why? Because I learned to care about me. I love me today. I admire me today. I am humbled today. I am transparent and authentic today. Give us this day our daily bread. And so the more I practice being transparent and authentic, the more of a believer I am to those who are seeking help, relief. Yes, God made me a model, but he also gave me the desires of my heart. Obtaining my doctorate degree, got my master's already, am a runway model, an actress, and a phys ed teacher, right? A TV talk show for 32 plus years, a transformational speaker, a spiritual consultant, a spiritual coach. Why? Because my God, who I didn't know, chose me out of the muck and mire to be used, molded, and shaped and prepared to help touch just one more. All right? So if it's God's will that we are rejoined tomorrow morning, I'll be here, and I hope you will be too. Be blessed. Remember, send me your email by emailing me your information so I can send you the link for our first session of the journey to transparency and authenticity, building the foundation. Be blessed.